Hey guys, welcome to week 6. This week's top score, Chris's three-headed monster defeats Lee's That's Headley 158.26 to 134.62. The three-headed monster roars back a week after its first loss of the season, getting 29 and 3/4 points from New England's defense, 28.9 points from Russell Wilson, and 25.2 points from David Johnson. Oh, and the rest of the squad opted to join in the fun, with every single player putting up at least 10 points. With the win, Chris reclaims the top spot in the league, leading the three 5-1 teams in total points scored. Chris needed all of it to take down Lee this week. Lee got 26 points from Hunter Henry, 20.5 points from Carlos Hyde, 18.2 points from Dak Prescott, and 17.6 points from Adrian Peterson. Lee could have picked up a few more points, another 12 to be exact, by swapping out Golden Tate for Robert Woods, but it wouldn't have been enough to get you the win. Lee continues to struggle all-time versus Chris, now 0-9 all-time. Also, this is Chris's 11th weekly high score, moving into third place all-time for most weekly wins. This week's biggest blowout, my Melvin Gordon Bombay knocks off Alex's Funkle Up 137.42 to 72.92, a margin of 64.5 points. Alex and I have both previously appeared in the same spots in the big blowout games this season, this being my second big blowout win and Alex's second big blowout loss. I got 33.6 points from Lamar Jackson, 27.4 points from James Conner, 23.1 points from Chris Godwin, and 21.7 points from Austin Hooper. Personally, I'm just happy to have grabbed a win here. My trio of Chargers sucked it up again, combining for only 15.7 points total. Alex got 23.2 points from Carolina's defense and 14.5 points from Philip Lindsay. Everyone else had 10 points or less, bottoming out with Juju Smith-Schuster getting 1.2 points on his one measly catch for 7 yards. Alex's main QB, Jacoby Brissett, was on bye, so he happily snagged a ride with the mustache man himself, Gardner Minshew II.
Yeah. Who wants a mustache ride?
Who wants a mustache ride?
Me.
That's going to be the clip from the movie. Apparently Alex did, but Minshew had his worst game of the season, putting up 4.62 points in the game versus New Orleans. Yet to be seen as if this is the last ride for Minshew in Alex's lineup, or we'll get to see him again, so I can clip in some more Austin mustache clips. Alex?
Come on, you're not a quitter, you're a fighter. At least I always thought so.
In this week's closest matchup, Jason's I Was Saying Boo Words gets his first win of the season, knocking off previously unbeaten Pulp 1.0's To Deuce or Not To Deuce, 94.2 to 79.9, a 14.3 point margin of victory. The Moles were led to their first win of the season on the strength of a 21.8 point game from Curtis Samuel and two 14-point games from Phil Rivers and George Kittle. Also chipping in double-digit games were DeAndre Hopkins and Washington's defense. Pulp 1.0 was unable to escape the previously winless Moles.
There is no escape from the fortress of the moles.
In the loss, he was led by 20.5 points from Carson Wentz and a pair of 14-point games from Kenny Golladay and Joey Sly. This game was a real poop fest at the two starting running back spots, as Pulp 1.0 won the scoring matchup of Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry versus Malcolm Brown and Chris Thompson, 9.8 to 7. Pulp 1.0's two running backs were keepers, while Jason was trotting out his third and fourth string guys at the spot. This should have been a clear spot for Pulp 1.0 to take a win. The poor performance from the two running backs combined with Amari Cooper's injury at the beginning of the Cowboys game led to your demise. With the win, Jason grabs his first win of the season, but is still not able to move out of 11th place. With the loss, Pulp 1.0 drops from first into second in a three-way tie with Chris and Nick at 5-1. In other matchups this week, Nick's Hootie Blowfish knocks off Pulp 2.0's Pew Pews 104.5 to 84.1. Nick's squad got 32.5% of his points from one player, the 34 points that Matt Ryan put up on the day. Also assisting in the win were Leonard Fournette's 14.8 points, Michael Thomas with 12.9 points, and Le'Veon Bell with 11.8 points. Even in the win, Nick returned to the ways of the potato at his tight end position,
Hail the great potato.
opting to start Vance McDonald, who had one catch for 5 yards in the Steelers game versus the Chargers. With the win, combined with Pope 1.0's loss, Nick currently holds the current longest winning streak in the league with 3 wins in a row, tied with Josh. For Pope 2.0, you got 16.1 points from Mike Evans, 13.1 points from Odell Beckham Jr., 13.1 points from Minnesota's defense. You could have picked up about 10 points by benching Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford, but you had nothing else to close the final 10-point deficit. With the loss, you remain winless on the season and in 12th place.
There can be only one.
Also, you hit the 40 loss mark overall in terms of your career win-loss numbers. Derek's Freeman fuck-up project knocks off Drew's Run CMC 153.36 to 121.18. Stephon Diggs finally shows up this season, dropping a 43-point game to lead all players in scoring in Week 6. Diggs was backed up by Ezekiel Elliott's 26.7 points and Devonta Freeman's 25.3. You escaped Will Dissly's injury here, still getting the win despite his 0-point game after getting hurt in the Seattle game. Drew had a heck of a game himself, with 4 players scoring between 19 and 23 points, led by the just-returned Tyreek Hill with 22.5 points, 22 points from Tom Brady, 19.7 points from Christian McCaffrey, and 19.1 points from the San Francisco defense. Weak spots in your lineup this week were a pair of Rams getting only 3.7 points from Cooper Kupp and 1 point from Greg Zuerlein. With the loss, you now sit at 3-3 at the top of the pile of 4 teams with that record. You do hold a clear advantage in points scored, still having scored the second most points in the league. It's not helping you that your opponents have run up the second most points scored. What are you doing? The bunny ears would be over here. You're in the...
Yeah, I'm doing the most here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And finally, Josh's Please Not Last Again defeats Brandon's Once in a Generation 119.9 to 99.42. Josh is on fire at the moment, storming back from an 0-3 start with 3 straight wins to sit in 7th place, 1 position out of the playoff spot. As far as I can tell, Josh hasn't been to the playoffs since the league's inaugural season, which he won.
Like, we worked very hard this offseason, just all year long, all season, just trying to get back from that, trying to bounce back and show everyone that last year that wasn't us. This year's the real us.
Josh got 29.4 points from Deshaun Watson and 26.9 points from Chris Carson to lead his team to a win this week. Also chipping in 18.6 points was Alshon Jeffrey. Brandon takes the loss here, getting 29.4 points from Nick Chubb, 18.8 points from Patrick Mahomes, and then a trio of 12-point games from Calvin Ridley, Duke Johnson, and DJ Moore. You could have grabbed a win here had you gotten Terry McLaurin into your lineup in place of Tyler Boyd. The 22-point swing would have been enough to catch Josh. There's no waiver wire report this week since it's Tuesday and not Wednesday when I'm recording this. There were no new wagers this week in the league. Some of the standing wagers, Pittsburgh won and Cleveland lost, pushing them into a 2-way tie for second place in the AFC North, 2 games behind the Ravens. Randall Cobb hurt his back in practice last week, so he wasn't available to play, so no catches for him this week. Jake Kumaro did suit up and had 2 catches on Monday Night Football, which wasn't great for his long-term picture stock. With as many players that were out as hurt on Monday Night Football, Alan Lazard ended up stealing the show. So the Cobb-Kumaro wager stands at 17-4 through 6 weeks. New wagers this week. Nick and I play each other, so our long-standing wager on head-to-head matchups is in play. We should really go have wings sometime because I believe that we both already owe each other 1 wager from our previous matchups. That is it for Week 6, and we will see you after Week 7.